Okay, so today you have an ICA here in your session 5. You're doing this cardiovascular terminology ICA. So I want to give you just a little bit of tips on completing this assignment so that maybe it makes it just a little easier for you. So you're going to click on that top one. The second one is just where you upload your answers. So click on the top one is how you're going to access your assignment. And you actually see a preview of the document here. It is 2 pages long. Now you can just look at it here on your screen and then type your answers into Word. That's perfectly fine. I like to actually download the document here as a PDF. I know some of you like to digitally write on the document. That's absolutely a good way to do it. But if you don't want to digitally write on it, you can just type your answers in Word. That's acceptable as well. I like to download it just because I can make it a little bigger. So you just click on it just like any other download and open it up. So here is the document. So the first page is 20 matchings. Some are abbreviations, some are words, some are medical terms, med terminology that you can, prefix, suffix kind of thing. But a lot of them are just words that can't be separated like that, like flutter, claudication, syncope, tetralogy of Fallot. Okay, but there's a lot of abbreviations here. Now, these are all going to be from your Chapter 10 in your medical terminology book, but Chapter 10 is a lot of pages. So can we make this easier? Sorry, my cat just went by. Got a tail in the screen. So how can we make this easier? So I'm going to start with number 1 here, is the abbreviation SSS. Okay, you may know what that means, but let's assume you don't, and you're going to go to your textbook and you need to figure it out. So I go here. Rather than just looking through the whole chapter trying to find where in the world it is, over here you have a magnifying glass. That is your search field. I'm going to open up the search and I'm going to search for SSS and see what it finds. So it found in Chapter 10 here, and here, but then it found something in the appendixes and it found something in Chapter 8. Well, this isn't a Chapter 8 assignment, so I don't care about those. All I care about are the matches in Chapter 10 because that's where this assignment is coming from. So I'm going to click on that first one, and it actually tells me here that SSS stands for sinus sick syndrome. Well, if this ICA was just asking for what the SSS stood for, and I had sinus sick syndrome here on my page, then I'm good. But guess what? It's not there. So maybe they want more of what does it really mean. So I come back here, and on this page here, it tells me any abnormality of the sinus node that may include the necessity for the patient to get a pacemaker. So any abnormality of the sinus node. So I go back over to the assignment and I look here, and guess what? I see right there, F, any abnormality of the sinus node. So SSS, sinus sick syndrome, is F. And see how quickly I found it in my textbook? Do one more. Okay. So I come back to my textbook and I'm going to look for the word flutter. And I found 3 matches here in Chapter 10. I know it's going to be one of those. Let me click on that first one. And it says a flutter, extremely rapid but regular heartbeat. Extremely rapid but regular heartbeat. So now I go back to my page. Extremely rapid but regular heartbeat. Do you see it? Do you see it? I see it. G, rapid regular rhythm. Okay. Now, did it change a word? Yes, it went from heartbeat to rhythm. It didn't put the word any in front of it. You have to be able to recognize that they mean the same thing, okay? We are not teaching you to memorize and regurgitate, okay? Memorize and spit it back out in the exact same words. We're trying to get you to be critical thinkers, meaning that this means the same thing as this, okay? That's going to really feed into your coding skills as we get into that, because doctors don't always use the same word, but they mean the same things, okay? So you're going to continue working your way through all 20 of these. And if you're stuck on one, skip it. It's just like the matching where I said do the ones you know, do the ones that are obvious. If you're stuck on one, skip it and go on to the next one. And maybe when you get done, you're going to have maybe 2 or 3 that you had to skip, and then you're left with 2 or 3 definitions on the other side. Now it's much easier to figure out which ones go together. Okay, page 2 is word building. Okay, so we gave you prefixes and suffixes and a variety of word roots there in the middle. And then it wants you to make words. Okay? I want you to remember that when we give you, actually, let me do this. Woo, there we go. The beginning of every phrase, when we want you to create a word, the beginning of every phrase is the suffix. Remember, we start with the suffix, go to the prefix if there is one, and then the word root. Okay? Actually, word root. Okay, so every word has a suffix. So when you look at these 10 phrases, the beginning of every one of them is going to be a suffix. And remember, the suffix is going to go at the end of the word. Now, you have a number of them that are pertaining to. Now, there's a lot of suffixes that also mean pertaining to. So it's not always going to be the same one. But, okay, surgical puncture is a centesis. Process of recording is graphy. So look up each one of these suffixes and find out what they mean, and do they match any of those 10 words? Okay. Then remember, every word has a suffix. Not every word has a prefix, but word roots tend to be body parts. So skin, vein, muscle, heart. Meaning if there's anything in the middle, like in number 1, pertaining to is your suffix, skin is your root, but you still have this word through in the middle. That must be a prefix. So, but another one may not have one, like condition of slow heartbeat. Actually, I lied. That one has one too. Surgical repair of a valve. That one doesn't have a prefix. So we've got surgical repair, plasty, of a valve. What's the word root that means valve? Okay. And you're only going to use the prefixes, suffixes, and word roots that are on this page. You are not going to use your entire list of things. You don't have the entire list of suffixes, which is a lot of them. You only have the 10 or so that are on this page. Okay. And notice it all says some words aren't used, some are used more than once. So don't cross them off as you use them, because you might need them twice. So hopefully my tips here have given you an idea of how to approach this ICA with good success. So good luck.